All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to CFI After Dark. I'm the pet man, Matt Morrow. Uh, we had a pretty strong performance tonight by a highly ranked team. That's what we had over at Butler as they hosted Providence on their homecoming. I'm just finishing up the little highlight package. I put some pictures out on Instagram and our Facebook page if you want to check those out from the action tonight. But a dominant performance by Butler, 49-6 over Providence. And they really did it with a really strong performance up front. Um, I think Coach Hales did a great job of letting that big offensive line go to work. And then number 12, Jaden Williams, was really impressive running the football. He had two touchdowns while we were there. I didn't see the last two touchdowns. We wanted to kind of get home and then get working on some different things we had going on. So we didn't stay all the way till the end, but we saw enough. We left when it was 35-6, and Butler is the real deal, and they definitely deserve the number one ranking in the CMS Best of Last for sure. Providence, they had their chances. They had a missed field goal early on. And then they were able to get a score right before halftime, 21-6, and they had some good momentum coming in to the second half. Their defense stopped Butler on their first second half possession, and then they got the midfield, and it was a fourth and short. And then Coach Ward set up a fake punt, but they had a false start penalty on the play, and that really was the tipping point right there in the game. I think if they get that fake punt first down, then we might have had a different story. But then Butler poured it on after that with two touchdowns in the third quarter. Actually, that last touchdown was early fourth quarter. But then they really kind of wore down that Providence defense that was on the field a lot throughout the game. So please post your scores and your comments. I'm pulling up some scores now. I have seen some scores that were very interesting inside and outside of Charlotte. Um, but I want to hear from you as always. This is your show. What you say is what we talk about. So we've got some comments up on the board now. Kim Watts, dedicated watcher. It's always good to see your name on here, Kim. I didn't see your score. I didn't see a South McBerry score. What was the score on that game? Let us know because Max Preps didn't even have it. So who won tonight? Dudley, there's Jada Connect, another dedicated viewer, 5614. Who did Dudley play tonight? Um, I don't have it on my list here yet. Let me know who Dudley played. One of the things that we talked about on the show was, we talked about West Charlotte and a potential matchup with Dudley down the line, how great of a game that would be. And then no matter where it's played, how good the fish is going to be. So Dudley keeps rolling, man. That's awesome right there. Damon Allen checking in. Chris High School 5-0. Yes, I saw some highlights on Twitter when I was scrolling through. Big win over Stuart Kramer. And then I saw shout out to Notavius Husky, man. He had 247 yards passing, became the all-time passing leader for Chris High School. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's great when you make history. He's a especially talented young man. And big reason why Crest is 5-0 and a big time contender for a 3A state title. There's Big I Shelby right there. If you don't know, they had a statement win tonight, 31-10 over Charlotte Catholic. There it is right there. Oh yeah, under 50 rushing yards. Yeah, you don't see that from Charlotte Catholic. And you don't win big over there either. It's very rare for them to lose at home as it is. It's especially rare for them to have a 3-touchdown loss at home. So, Independence really, with a statement coming out of their bye week and letting everybody know that, hey, don't forget about us. Remember what people said in the preseason. And I think they might be getting ready to make a run right there. Let's see. Tiffany Bryant checking in. How you doing, Tiffany? Audrey Kell over Cuthbertson, 28-0. I was the only one on the show that picked RGKL to win. The only one, man. Tried to. I don't know when people gonna start listening, man. No, that's a great win. Cuthbertson was undefeated previously, so that is a great win for Audrey Kill. I think they have, is it 3 wins in a row now or 2 wins? I know they've got a couple wins in a row now, so that was a non-conference victory for Audrey Kill, and I believe they're going to enter conference play starting next week. So they'll be going into conference, really ready to go. Jada Connect comes back with, let's talk about this one, man. East Forsyth for a long time has, especially at least the past 5 or 6 years, been known as the team up in the 336 Winston area. And then they lose tonight to Davie County, 41-28. And the last time we talked about Davie County was when they faced Mooresville earlier in the season. And they were able to put up a lot of points, but they had trouble slowing Mooresville down in kind of a shootout game. And one of the things that people said about Davie County is they are really, really special on offense. And I believe their running back is Markel Summers. I think he was a Pet Man player earlier this season. He had 4 rushing touchdowns in that game. So major kudos to Davie County. I remember I coached against Davie County at Harding. We were in the playoffs, and we went up to Davie County, and it looked like Clemson up there. I mean, they were orange and white. Those are their colors all over the place. They came out with motorcycles. It was a culture shock for our guys, but they've always played hard, especially when they were at home. I think they were at home tonight, so big win for those guys for sure. That's really going to shake up the 336. And there was another game that I'm gonna get to that also is going to shake up the 336. So looks like South Met got another win, 35-7 over Berry. That's 2 wins in a row for South Met, 2-0 in the conference. When they hit that reset button, conference is a new season. And you have to look out for the Sabres, man. Good stuff. All right, Jared Sanders checking in. Hickory Grove, big over Covenant Day, 42-7. Coach Bacham and those guys continue to roll. And, they're just on track for another playoff performance. And they're really looking to make amends for that first round playoff loss last season. So congrats to those guys. Travis Wayne Watson. Yep. This one came across. Lake Norman won with a walk-off 50-yard field goal. That is incredible, man. Lake Norman is really finding ways to win consistently. They had those 2 1-point wins to start off their season, and then they got a win on the road at Asheville. That was a big one. They had the big comeback victory over Marvin Ridge. And then this one, they were down 21-7, and they found a way to come back and get a win. And when these things start happening, you start to, really believe as a team. It brings you together, and you feel like nothing can slow you down. No matter what situation you're going to come together, and you're going to find a way to get it done. Kudos to Coach Oliphant and his staff and those players for finding a way to get it done against a good A.L. Brown team to remain undefeated. I believe they're 5-0 on the season, man. Great job. Yeah, Friday night's going to have some answers. The answer to some things because some of these picks, man. We will call them out. Marcus Bell, Kings Mountain big over North Gaston, 42-0. And yes, that second score right there. Hunter Huss over South Point, 31-24 in overtime. Man, let me tell you something. Coach Randy Thompson at Hunter Huss, he's been on our show before. There's been a lot of stuff, being said about that program, stuff that, shouldn't be said. And I won't get into all that, stuff on here. But, sometimes you have a landmark victory, and I talked about it with West Charlotte last week. And this is a major victory for Hunter Huss. Hunter Huss gets a lot of stuff that's not warranted. And those kids, we've seen it before when Coach Jamar McCoy was there a few years ago. They have talent, and if you can get that talent moving in the right direction, you can be a really strong program. Coach McCoy had those guys in state quarterfinals um, consistently, for a couple years while he was there. And to get this done in overtime against the team that we have ranked number one in Gaston County is a major victory. Shout out to those guys, those players, and those coaches. Just an incredible victory and a landmark victory for that program in Coach Thompson's tenure. Man, awesome stuff. Trayvon Gaither, Community School Davidson 30, Mountain Island 12. Had the pleasure of meeting Coach Washington tonight. Really great guy. Yep. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And Community School Davidson is a really good team. Really good team. I know I talked to him, earlier this week about it, and he knew he was, up for a challenge. That team has won the conference, I think, the last 2 or 3 years, and they're on track, to do that again with this victory. But for Mountain Island, it's a tough loss, but Community Schools 2A, Mountain Island is 1A. So they've lost to the 2A schools that are both really good in Community School Davidson and Pine Lake. They're on track right now to still be the number 1A team out of that combo conference and be a high seed going into the state playoffs later on this season. So kudos to Community School with a really good victory. Chat administrator. Yeah. So chat administrator, we got to address something. So when Mooresville was up big, I was getting consistent score updates, but then I saw Hickory Ridge coming back. I ain't getting no score update. So now I'm really concerned about your well-being. I hope you're all right. But yeah, that's a good win for Mooresville. I mean, Hickory Ridge has never been an easy place to play. It never has been, grass or turf. The people are great up there, and Coach Jupiter Wilson's teams are never going to lay down and quit. And that's indicative of that score right there. But whether you win by 1 or you win by 40, it still counts the same in the win column. So take it, learn from it, digest it, and enjoy it. That's high school football for you, man. That is high school football. Coach Peavy, Corvian over Christ the King 33-7. And Corvian's doing really well in their second year. Consistently winning, consistently putting up good performances. And Christ the King was a really good team last year. I mean, I think they made the second round of playoffs last year. So they're a well-coached team. And, to get a win against a well-coached team is always a really, really big deal. So good job coaching. Congratulations to Corvian on that. Armani Bird, Clover checking in. Another bit, yep, Coach Woolbright. That's their third win in a row. When you get a new coach, it takes a little time to get that system in, but now, yep, he's got it going. 36-21 over Boiling Springs, 3-2. Stick with him. Stick with him. He's a good coach. He's been coaching for a long time. It's a good job right there. Yeah, I was wondering if somebody's going to mention this. So Huff over Chambers 19-13. The tradition of the regular season seems to continue, where Huff is able to beat Chambers in the regular season, but if they meet up in the playoffs, Chambers will usually get the best of them in that matchup. So Shaquan for us was there, and he's had a couple things right here. I said it. Huff quarterback, that's Trey Blakeney, looks good. He's been really efficient from the pocket. Trey Robinson, Chambers quarterback, uses his legs a good bit, picked up a few first downs running. Also had a touchdown on the ground. Xavier McIntyre, corner from Huff, had a scoop and score. And then he felt like Huff's defense was really good in the front seven, the linebackers and D line especially. And then Chambers had some issues with some penalties that kept them behind the sticks a lot throughout the game. So if you have some more Huff and Chambers thoughts, please feel free to share those if you were there. But Huff also had 4 field goals from Nolan Hauser to help them in that victory. And I mean, you got a special kicker, special young man, it makes a huge difference. And literally, he was the difference in the game. I mean, he counted for 12 points. Huff had 1 touchdown. There it is right there. All right. This was a pick'em game for us. Chat administrator checking in with Cox Mill, 21, West Bears 20. Cox Mill gets their second win on the season, and it's another close loss for West Bears. But that's a young team learning how to win under a new coach in Coach Henson. And to see that progress is really good. It's really good for their future. They're learning from these things. And then, it's going to grow. It's really going to grow for them. And, Cox Mill getting the win that they needed. It's good stuff. So, I mean, it's a good job on both teams, but congrats to Cox Mill for picking up that win. And this was another score when it came across. Yes, Statesville big over East Lincoln, 42-14. And, we've talked about Statesville a little bit when we do our Iredell County rankings. And, Coach Calvin came out and said he was trying to prepare his team in the pre-conference by playing tougher teams, playing teams upper classification. And now you're seeing that preparation show itself, and a big win like this is majorly impressive. East Lincoln and Hickory was a game for about 3 quarters last week, and then wow, this is major. This is a major victory for Statesville. Congrats to those guys, and Statesville for years has been a tough team to face in the playoffs. And it looks like this is going to be the case if they're able to replicate this week in and week out. Awesome stuff, man. Coach Short checking in says, really impressive defensive effort for Big Eye tonight. They will have something to say about how that conference shakes out. Yeah. Right now, you look at that conference, you're thinking Butler and Indy based on what we saw tonight. I mean, and coming into the season, that's how we saw it. That's how we saw it. We thought it was, between those two. We knew Catholic and Providence had the ability, to step up and cause some problems, but we're back to where we thought in the beginning of the season. Then Coach Short's Bessemer City 73-0 over Highland, and they needed that win. Yeah, but that's any conference has tough opponents, so. I think Bessemer City now 4-2. That's great. That's great. Congratulations, Coach. Good stuff, man. Let's see here. The Ronde checking in. Ashbrook 33, Forest View 20. First win for Ashbrook this year. We all picked Ashbrook in the pick'em this week, and they found a way to get it done. And now you just got to build on it. You take those things that were positive tonight, and look at the film and say, hey. When you listen and you do what you're coached to do, you can have success. So, they still have time. It's only the mid-season. You're in conference play. You still got time to put it together and, get on a run. And then you never know. You get in the playoffs and then all bets are off. And then it's a whole new season. So congrats to the Green Wave for getting on the board and getting in the win column right there, man. Good stuff. Let's see. Yeah, West Meck and West Charlotte. Now, the score we got for West Meck and West, let me see if it's in Max Prep. So I think we got West Charlotte 42-8 over West Meck in that one. It's not showing it, but that's the one. That's the report we got on that one. So, yeah, West Charlotte's still rolling for sure. Let's see here. Eastern Alamance over Western Alamance, 28-14. Yeah, that lines up with what Friday Night has ranked in his rankings. So Eastern Alamance still rolling pretty good. Congratulations to those guys. Thank you, Josh. Yeah, Deidre, I was on the Providence side of the night. Homecoming, there was a million people over there, so I was wanting to stay out of the way. But congrats to Butler. I talked about that when the show started, and I'll have some highlights out here real shortly. And I'll share those out on the social media channels um, here in a few minutes. All right. Yeah, we talked about Huss over South Point. Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one right there. That's a big one. Hey, Coach. Congratulations on the win, man. Good stuff right there. Um, if you got any more comments you want to throw up, feel free to throw them up. I'll go through some scores that we haven't discussed yet. From Max Preps here. Let's see here. In our area, we got Mallard Creek big over Hopewell, bouncing back 48-0 tonight. Concord was over Central Bears 27-7. Christian over Cannon School 38-3. West Rowan 54, South Rowan 28. Myers Park, wow, big over Palisades. Did not see that coming. 44-0. Wow, big win for Myers Park. They're really starting to roll over there. Olympic went to Virginia tonight. Didn't go well for them. They lost to Lord Boated Tort 57-21. Northwest Cabarrus over East Rowan 44-0. Pine Lake big over Winston-Salem Prep 62-12. Sun Valley remains undefeated 6-0 for the first time in school history 28-14 over Country Day. Robinson remains undefeated 26-6 over Carson. Let's see here. Northwestern big over Rock Hill 56-14. I don't think that York Fort Hill score is correct. I think I saw a different score for that. We mentioned Kings Mountain over North Gaston. Albemarle getting in the win column 34-0 over Lake Norman Charter. Congrats to Albemarle on that one. Lincolnton also getting in the win column for their first win of the year, 22-21 over Newton Conover. Salisbury big over West Davidson, 42-0. Anson over Central, 48-21. West Iredale remaining undefeated on the season, 5-0, 34-7 over Fred T. Ford. Shelby big over Thomas Jefferson, 69-0. North Rowan over Thomasville. They continue to roll 16-12. East Gaston big over Cherville, 63-14 to remain undefeated on the season. And I think they're going to be the new number one team in Gaston County. Man, awesome stuff. Hickory over North Lincoln, 43-14. Pinecrest over Richmond, 20-12. Bunker Hill big over West Caldwell, 56-7. All right. West Lincoln over Maiden, 33-19. Yes, thank you for mentioning that. Yep, Weddington, 17-14 over Dutch Fork. That was a pick'em game for us. Weddington went to the trick play to get a touchdown. It was Tyler Budge to Keenan Jackson on a flea flicker to get him on the board down there. And then defense was able to hold up. They were down 14-0 early in that game. And then they were able to hold on and get out of there with a big win across the border. It's good for them to kind of get that taste out of the Butler loss from 2 weeks ago. So good stuff, man. Really, really great for all these teams. Some interesting scores. One that I did not mention that I'll mention before we get off here. Shout out to Coach David Yock, former offense coordinator at Mallard Creek, now at RJ Reynolds. RJ Reynolds beating Mount Tabor 29-28 tonight. The 336 is on fire, man. They don't know what's going on up there. Davie County over East Forsyth, and then RJ Reynolds over Mount Tabor. Wow. Great stuff, man. Congrats to all the coaches and the players tonight that won big on the field. We got some work to do in our rankings, and I'm sure Friday night's probably somewhere pulling his hair out because he got games wrong. So, On behalf of the whole crew, I'm the Pet Man, Matt Morris, signing off. Make sure you check us out Wednesday night for another fun edition of Football Focus Week, where I promise you there's going to be different rankings and a lot of stuff to talk about, including all of this craziness with the NCHSAA and the state government. What is going on? My goodness. Whew. All right. And we'll sign off with last comment, Butler Bulldogs. Yep. Highlights coming to you soon on our social media channels. All right. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend.